Welcome to episode 2 of the Ostrich Talk. I'm your host, Xavier.
Thank you guys for joining us. I am Mike.
This week we got a lot to talk about. Season's coming up soon. But before that, we got any life updates, Mike? Anything new happening over at in the city of Rochester?
Not too much. I'm holding it down here in the hood, as they say, and things are going well. Just started a sales role at Herc Rentals. So that's been an interesting endeavor. Pays
Love to
pretty
hear
good
it.
dough. Um, but really, I'm all about ramping up for the season coming up here.
Yeah, I mean, we love to hear that. We love to hear, dual income. Good contract from the ostrich flock, and then another job on the side. Because
Yeah,
the season's only a couple months long, so you gotta make some dough in the off season.
yeah, yeah.
Um, I mean, speaking of the off season, have you been putting in any work in the off season?
Well, I just want to go back to the point of making the income, making the dough. I
Yeah.
do think that's very important for BWL players, as I've heard rumors before that I've heard that some people in the league are broke. That's been a
Oh,
headline that I've heard about prior.
are we
Um,
speaking of the Jeff Strike Zone post?
I don't remember exactly where that was coming from, but I heard it at one point. I don't know who it was regarding, but
I
I've
have
heard a little
seen
bit
that.
about that.
That did ruffle some feathers.
It did.
I I'm not going to speak too much on that. I think everyone in the wiffle ball league should be trying to get their money up in the off season. Or I mean, even if there's some people in college in the league still, so getting that education up is also just as important.
Yep, yep.
Um, as long as you're doing something in the off season, wiffle ball,
Warren Buffett,
it's
one of
a
my favorite guys, his one of his many quotes is the best investment you can make is in yourself. So I'm completely there with you with the guys still in school.
yes, absolutely. Yeah, but wiffle ball, it's a great outlet. We got some high pay like Cooper Hassel making a good chunk of change from his contract. Three-time MVP. You're not gonna be making pennies here. This is a real official league. So,
It is.
but it is important for everyone in the league to be busy in the off season.
It'll be interesting to see if we have a collective bargaining agreement, like as we see in the MLB. There's a lot of money in that league, and the players basically have unionized to get their cut of it, their fair share. Um,
Right.
we're such an official league that even this season, they were asking about sponsors that we know of. So I feel that if the league's bringing in sponsors and this is going to be a revenue generating entity, then we might see the players shift to start getting a little bit more of that cut from the sponsors.
Yeah. Start. I mean, we've seen the WNBA. You can even be a league that makes no money and still argue you need more money. So,
Yeah, yeah.
as the BWL increases, gets more sponsors, we're obviously making money here, big league. So we could definitely get our players paid a good amount of money coming up in the next couple of years, I think.
I like it. It'll be exciting when the collective bargaining agreement, if that becomes a thing.
Yeah, I would love to see that. So yeah, back to the off season in terms of practicing or getting ready for the actual season. I know for me, I've been doing a good amount of pitching. I did a lot of pitching last year for the Ostrich flock, and I just want to really get dialed in. I think just being able to hit the strike zone, not give up a lot of walks is going to be super beneficial if I can get dialed in. I think you're gonna do a good amount of pitching. Have you been working on that a lot, or what's the status there?
Yeah, off season's been good. I've been training. I've been working with some of the best. And pitching is definitely what I'm developing. Batting, I'm happy with where I was hitting last year. So my
Yeah,
the goal there is just to keep it consistent and level and match what I contributed last year.
absolutely.
What I'm gonna be bringing this season is really sharp pitching ability. Last year I wasn't really that guy on the mound, but this year with repetition and screwing around with different grips, I've developed some consistency where I could be one of those guys who are commanding the zone, opposed to so many pitchers that you see who just walk everyone.
Mhm. Yeah, that's definitely. I think the Ostrich Flock's gonna benefit from you stepping up to the mound and just being consistent.
Yeah, last year I struggled with I'm a very sidearm pitcher in wiffle ball, so I would throw sidearm and I would always miss outside if it was a right-handed batter. So
Mhm.
I've gotten that under control and kind of dialed it in so that I'm not always throwing it past the strike zone.
That's really good to hear for the team, of course. And then we have Isaiah pitched a little bit last season. He's been really busy in school. I don't know how much work he's been putting in, but I think he got a Golden Glove last year, so definitely our best fielder. So we're definitely looking for him to keep uh, supporting us on the field. That was a big role for him last year. Mikey Crandall, our new player. I think we're expecting him to be another solid hitter for us.
Yeah.
I think I don't know if you have the stats pull up, but I think me and you were top seven, I think, in batting average. So
Mm,
if Mikey Crandall can step up for us, because last year Mark and Isaiah kind of struggled at the plate.
yep.
If we get another good batter, I think it'll be solid for the team. I mean, you're pulling the stats up, right?
I am.
Yeah, as
Last
you're
season
pulling it up.
you finished with a 5.89 average. I finished with a 500 average flat. Then we go down quite a bit and we see Mark Rennie. He ended the season with a 385 average, and Isaiah came in with a 306 average. So
Okay.
there's definitely those different tiers that we saw to the season last year.
Yeah.
Um, and I think Mikey will definitely be in that upper echelon
Yeah.
of batters, so that'll be good to see.
I think that'll definitely be helpful for the Ostrich Flock. Let's get into some of the other teams. We got confirmed rosters for this upcoming season. I could pull it up right here.
Yeah.
So for the Thunder Ducks, they're gonna stay the same. I think they might be getting an additional player in Caden Loriano.
All right.
He was supposed to be a part of that Hayden Watt expansion team, but obviously that has gone under. So
Yep.
the players that were supposed to play for that team, Gavin Leverins was another player for that team. He's joined the Flamingos, replacing Patrick Kiso. Patrick Kiso is bowed out of the BWL. He just didn't have the time, I guess. It's a
Was this
devastating
a new
loss.
candidate for the league that was potentially going to be in?
A potential new player, yes. So the
So
Flamingos roster is now consisting of Bryce Tyndall, Gavin Leverins, Spencer Ireland, and Finn Harvey. So three returning
what are
players,
we
one new
expecting out of
player.
the Flamingos? Are they going to bring the heat like we saw the Ostrich Flag bring their inaugural season?
I think the Flamingos could be a good team. I think Bryce being a returning player is gonna he might struggle a little bit in the beginning of the season, but once he gets back into the swing of it, he'll be a very good contributor for that team. Gavin was pretty solid last year.
Yep.
Spencer Ireland, two-time World Series champion, good experience.
Always good to have that.
We love Spencer over here. At the Ostrich Flock. He's a great guy. He's my
Great guy.
I last season you coached him a little bit, right?
I did. Coming up at the end of the season there, he was struggling all season. At the plate, great defender, but he was asking what he needed to change, and there were some things that clearly stood out. His swing path was long. It wasn't very quick to the ball as it came through the zone. So I kind of coached him up, shortened up the swing, and we actually saw him gaining some momentum. I know one of his goals was to finish with a home run. He didn't. I don't think. Let me look up the stats real quick. I don't think he
No,
finished with
he did
a
not finish
home.
with home run, unfortunately, but he got close a couple times.
He was collecting some pretty good hits there at the end. Yeah, Spencer Island 0 home runs. 10 hits though. I know some of those came after the coaching. So yeah, hopefully that pays him dividends this year for the Flamingos there.
I think I think this upcoming season, 2026, I got Spencer Ireland hitting his first home run for the Flamingos.
That
I
that's
think
a solid bet. I could definitely see that coming through.
I think a little change of pace. He's been on the satellites for the all three seasons actually of the BWL, so I think a little change of pace will be good for him.
Yeah.
I'd love to see a home run on Spencer this season.
And I don't want to
Um,
call out Cooper Hassel, but I feel like the pressure of playing with Cooper Hassel, playing with a player that great, I feel like he might have been stealing the spotlight from Spencer. So I think as he enters this new team, that spotlight kind of might give him the opportunity to come into the full player he hit of his potential. Um,
yeah, I could definitely see that.
so
Um,
I think we're seeing a big season coming up from Spencer Ireland. Be on the lookout for that.
yeah, other teams, yeah. So actually, this season, the only team that is staying the same is the World Series champions, the Thunder Ducks. So we'll
Now
see
that's
if,
kind of surprising because that whole roster seemed to be in question last season. Once they won the World Series, it was kind of like, what are the next steps? Will we see this team run it back? Because I know there was some questions as to if everyone would be participating this season.
yeah, I think they all are confirmed this season. We actually saw a Jeff Strike's post about Cooper Harvey playing. He was confirmed. Spencer Ireland actually confirmed that Cooper Harvey was playing. I thought that was a little interesting, but we at
Yeah.
least got confirmation about that. But everyone seems committed. They uh they had a good team last year. They won obviously. They were the best team in the league. Um we'll see if just sticking with that roster is the right play for them.
Because I
The
know
Vipers,
cornerstone player. I think statistic wise, shout out Joe Murphy. Joe Murtaugh, not Joe Murphy.
go for it, yes.
My bad. Statistics wise, great player. Like once again, I would have him on.
What
He
are you
has the
doing?
open invitation to the OFE anytime he wants. Um, Stats wise, he's the best.
Okay,
Coach,
get out.
any comment
Please.
on Joe Murtaugh?
He sucks. He's a good player, but he sucks. But he's a good player, but he sucks. All he's good at is batting. Nothing else. Just batting.
It's a fair assessment, I would
There's
say.
nothing good about him except batting.
All right. Strong words from coach. Strong words from
Coach.
coach.
Sucks. Everything but batting. So
All
All
right.
right, yeah. So I mean, what Coach said there pretty much clarifies it for me.
sucks everything but batting.
That's what I look for in a player. Like, just give me a good batting. We could work with bad defense. We could work with like, um, questionable, uh, locker room personalities. Just give me the elite hitters. So once again, Joe Murtaugh, open invite anytime. Um, Shifting over to Owen Cummings. I know a big contention point was whether or not he was going to be joining the academy. It sounded like he wanted to be a professional gun carrier, where he gets to, where he walks around town with the, where he's packing.
Yes.
That's a
I
pretty cool career endeavor. Any updates on that?
absolutely. I think Owen would be a great professional gun carrier. I personally don't know too much about where he is with that. I wish him the best, of course. And obviously, if it didn't work out where he wasn't able to play wiffle ball, it'd be unfortunate. He was a great player last season,
Yeah,
World Series MVP. I think runner up for Rookie of the Year. So league would definitely miss Owen as a personality and a player. So
definitely. Yeah, I was glad to see him on the roster again because that
yeah,
was a big point of contention. Because I know that if he does get accepted to the academy, being a professional gun carrier does it's very demanding, and you gotta it's very
absolutely.
reasonable to exit the BWL
Yeah,
at that point.
I'm also very glad to see him return. Um, yeah, so then rounding out the Thunder Ducks roster is Colin Hogue and Cooper Harvey, both solid players. I don't know if you have
Yep.
anything more to really comment.
No, I mean we've seen him before. I don't know which one of the Thunder Ducks was the guy who full on baseball pants, eye black. He
That
had the
was
whole thing.
Cooper Harvey.
Cooper Harvey. Yep. So I think that'll be another point to look out on if he's gonna play dress up as Mike Trout again.
maybe his so Cooper Harvey's brother Finn Harvey's actually the fourth member of the Flamingos this year. So we'll
Mm,
see. That's the third pair of brothers in the league. Me and Isaiah,
yep.
um, Bryce and Brady, and Cooper and Finn. So
That'll be interesting. I think there will have to be a best brother like duo award. And mistake me if I'm wrong, but um none of the brothers play together.
except for me and Isaiah.
Oh, all right, yeah, yeah, yeah. Outside of
We
that, outside of that,
outside of that, they are all on separate teams.
all right, yeah, I was not considering our own team there. Brain fart.
Yes.
But yeah, I think that that should be an award. Who in tandem performs best for their family.
Yeah, I would love to see that award. I think we have a solid shot at winning that. Commissioners, up to you if that's a real award or not.
Yep.
We got now. I guess we can move on to the next team. We got the Vipers. Austin Davis and Zach Nako returning. Hayden Watt obviously leaving the league. Tyler Phillips has joined the Satellites this year. So the Vipers are bringing in two brand new players, Max Kalari and Evan Morris. I'm unfamiliar with their games personally. I've heard that they have some baseball experience. Looking forward to
Okay.
some new faces in the league. But obviously, as the Ostrich always says, never a Viper. So never a Viper, of course.
Go shop
Um,
BWL.
yeah, shout out to the BWL shop. This is a personal favorite of mine. Um, we have merchandise for all the teams. You could buy it. I think you just look at Brockport Wiffle Ball League shop. I think it should pop up. Or you can go through the Brockport Wiffle Ball League website, where you have the stats. There's a link there to get to the shop. So
Yeah.
shameless
Use
plug.
creator code OFE.
All right. Do we want to talk about the Vipers at all? I know.
You know,
I personally don't.
it's kind of hard to assess a team like that with the two newbies and then what they would bring to the table. I'm not gonna lie, Austin Davis and Zach Knockel, that doesn't solid, well-rounding players, but I feel like they lack that that Hayden, Xavier, or Cooper equivalent talent. So there's nothing that's too threatening from the Vipers that I feel are coming, but I feel like they'll pan out well because of they don't seem to so far have any players who would be like bottom of the barrel. Too soon to tell for the new guys, but it'll be cool to see what they bring.
Yeah, absolutely. I know Ostrich unfortunately did lose to them in the playoffs last year. Um, the nerves just kind of got to me last season. I know there were some allegations that like to just come out and just say did not have any drinks. I was not drunk. I don't know where these rumors came from. Um, I was locked in for both games. Definitely had some nerves. But I just would like to come out and say those rumors are untrue. Um,
How do
but
you
yeah,
think
next
that would
season,
affect your performance? Like, let's say theoretically this season, if they removed the ban on alcohol, how do you think a few drinks would that help your game?
I think a few drinks could definitely improve my game. I think I sometimes play a little scared. I think just a little bit of liquid confidence is what some people call it. Just like I could go out there and really just be myself. Not I think just a couple drinks. If I ever overdid it, I'd be swinging at nothing. Like it would be bad. So you can't show up wasted, but have a couple drinks definitely I think could benefit someone. I know there's some MLB players that do it and it really benefits them, but
Oh yeah, yeah. I think oh man, what's his name? Doc Ellis. I believe he was a Pirates pitcher. It was either a perfect game or a no-hitter. I can't recall. But he was high on LSD the whole time, and he pitched I'm gonna go with no-hitter. So we could definitely see I'm not gonna say the performance enhancement, but ability to perform. I'm not saying that these things will always lead to a favorable result, but clearly they have a place in the game. Um,
Yeah. I mean, another rumor, which I think we could have him on the podcast to address this. I'm not going to speak too much on it. They claim Jake Reitmeyer was drunk every season and or every game this season, and from previous seasons, he wasn't a great hitter. This last season, I think he was top five, top seven, somewhere around there. Do you have the stat pull up? He was a great hitter last season, and
what
if it is
what
true,
category you want to filter by?
we can just go batting average. I think
Batting average? Really, Jake Reitmeyer was
his batting average is pretty
you'd
solid,
count him
if I
as top
remember. I guess just like the number itself.
oh
I'm
yeah,
pretty sure I
Jake
remember seeing
Reitmeyer,
him.
he finished number 6, coming in
Yeah,
with a 528 batting average.
he had a very solid
I
batting average. So
honestly did not see that coming from him.
yeah, he did. He was solid. I don't know how many home runs did he have?
Home runs,
He was
he
the home
had
run derby champ.
7 home runs, so he's
7
right
home
there
runs.
in
So
the
that's
yeah,
solid.
right there in the middle of it.
There's a
The
lot
upper
of
tier.
players last season with 7 home runs.
Yeah,
He was
yeah, he was just a dirty dog, I guess.
he
That
was.
that Jacob Reitmeyer.
I think like his consistency just all season. Last season, Sam missed a couple weeks. Gavin missed a couple weeks last season. So I think Jake just being able to be there for the Shockwaves every week was really solid.
And he
Definitely,
remains on the Shockwaves this
he
season.
does remain on the Shockwaves. I think the Shockwaves last season didn't perform so well. I know we kind of crapped on them a little bit in the last episode. I think they could be decent this season if everyone shows up. Like if we have some more consistency from their players in terms of just being there every week, I think they could be pretty solid. Just building
I,
that chemistry.
I like that you have the confidence in them because I absolutely do not. Looking at the roster of Sam Bonesteel, Jake Brightmeyer, Bryce Putnam, and Mark Rennie, to me that just looks like uh, a recipe for disaster. We thought that last season was bad. Mark it down right now. They're gonna have a worse record than last season. That is my projection for them. I don't wanna put any false or fake vibes out there trying to hype them up for a roster that they just don't have.
I mean I like the honesty. I like the honesty. Um,
Like
what
bringing
other
Mark
teams?
on, like that is especially just like you're adding another liability. Mark is good in his own respect. He's anticipating pitching more, but you just look at him on defense and in the big moment at the plate, it'll be interesting to see what he brings this season compared to last.
Yeah, I think Mark was great to play with. Definite friend of the ostrich flock.
He was a great
Um,
guy,
he's a great guy, but yeah,
amazing
I think
guy.
he did shy away from the big moment sometimes, and yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, he has more confidence this year, and I wish him the best.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the satellites is the only team we haven't talked about yet. You got Cooper Hassel. We all know Cooper. We know he's just gonna go out there and dominate no matter what. Um,
hmm
Brady was very good last season. Uh,
Now going off Brady, so the allegations that you've had to face, these unjust allegations of you having a few drinks postseason,
yeah,
um, the allegations for Jacob Reitmeyer, who those are more so confirmed that he was just hammered left and right every game. There's a player in the satellites who kind of strikes a similar chord there. There's been conversations on if you see an individual carrying a lunchbox into Bonesteel Field.
I I don't know if we can actually post this. I don't think we can add this. I don't know. Like, I got to ask Bryce because
I I'm not saying any names. I'm just saying that there is a clear frequency of players, and I'm all for it. Like I personally think that one of the best eras of MLB was the steroid era. You see guys just launching nukes and like playing to their best ability. So
of
if Pen
course.
and Lunchbox gets you to that point,
You know, I love it. I think I think it'd be good for him. If we allow it.
Yeah, which once again, I'm not naming any names. I don't know who the allegations are against. All I've heard was pen and lunchbox.
And in Lunchbox, I've heard that as well. Anyway, moving on. They got John Ryan returning. You know, John was like Mark, another great guy.
Great guy.
We like John. John's
Like
good
him.
energy for the
Great guy.
BWL. He just doesn't have that it factor for me personally. Just,
Yeah.
I
I'll
mean,
give it I'll give it to him. I think the best part of his game is his nickname. I don't know if anyone tops him in this. That's a pause. Uh
General John,
having the name General John, that's just like he's in a
that is
different
tough.
stratosphere of nicknames.
That is tough. It definitely like imposes fear on his opponents, but he just
It does. When
wasn't.
I face him and I face someone named General John, I'm like, does this guy have military time? Has he committed any war crimes? I'm
Yeah,
facing this guy right now at bat. Um, is there anyone else who even has a nickname in the league? Nothing comes to mind.
nothing that's used
I guess
consistently.
big C, but
Big
uh
C, yeah.
as
Big
that
C is
applies to myself, like it's clear that General John wins the nickname category.
yeah. There's no other nicknames that are used consistently. General John. Um, and then Tyler Phillips is returning to the Satellites. He played for the Satellites in the first two seasons. Was a Viper last season. He is the only player in the BWL history to play in all three World Series. So we'll see if this year the Satellites can make it. I'm interested to see him return to the Satellites. I think he'll be a
That's
good fit.
That's interesting. How did that maneuver come about? I wasn't even too aware of that shift from Vipers to satellites. Do you know the background on that, or did that kind of just seem like a good fit?
Um, it was I think Cooper Hassel. I think he just wanted someone new to play with. I think he felt they lacked some consistency. And I think he kind of blamed Spencer. We touched it on this a little bit earlier. Spencer definitely started performing better near the end of the season. I
Yep.
think Cooper put a lot of pressure on him, so Cooper kind of just I think not. I mean, he kind of just got rid of Spencer. And I think Spencer will find a good role here in this new team. But yeah, I think Cooper just wanted some more consistent batters. I think that's somewhere that the Satellites struggled last season for sure. They had some of the lowest scoring games like of all time last season. It was just they didn't have that pop really in a lot of
Yeah.
games.